Nästa bolag på scenen är Vigmed Holding med Henrik Olsen.
Thank you. I'm actually going to do the speech in English. I hope that's okay. I'm Danish and I do speak somewhat Swedish also, but I think it would be better in English. And I'll be perfectly happy to take answers or questions, in Swedish during the presentation. Vigmed operates within safety products for the hospital segment, more specifically for infusion and injection products. And when I started at Vigmed, I was actually very surprised to learn that there was more than 1 million needle stick injuries every year in Western Europe alone. And that is only the reported incidents, so the real number is about 2 million. That actually makes needle stick injuries the most common occupational hazard within healthcare. And you can say, why is that important? It's just a little stick, maybe you have a little drop of blood. But actually you can transmit more than 60 different diseases through the bloodstream. And that includes diseases like HIV, Ebola, or hepatitis. So it's quite severe diseases. And it's also diseases that will potentially shorten the lifetime expectancy for the person that gets infected. Now, our mission as a company is, over time, to eliminate needle stick injuries. Of course, we cannot do that with the first version of the products that we have, but we believe it's doable over time. And we don't think that it's necessary for the healthcare workers to have that risk when they work, to risk getting infected through needle stick injuries. So we want to eliminate that concern from them, and actually we also at the same time eliminate cost to society, because it is actually more expensive to use unprotected products than it is to use slightly more expensive protected products and then not get needle stick injuries. Vigmed is a startup company. We have quite a short history as a company. We were founded in 2009, but really didn't get operational until the end of 2011. We put the first products in the market around summer 2014, which is extremely fast for a company operating within medtech. And we could only do that because we partnered up on different parts of the value chain, and I'll get back to that later. Even though we are a startup company, we are actually based on a very, very long history of medtech in Helsingborg. There was a company called Vigo, who was founded back in the 1920s. They actually developed the first disposable IV catheter and were very successful, bought up first by a UK-based company, later on by Becton Dickinson, who is the biggest company within infusion in the world. But in 2009, Becton Dickinson decided to close down the facilities in Helsingborg, and that of course left a lot of people with a lot of high competences in the area. And some of these people, they are actually part of Vigmed today. So our entire R&D and people working with manufacturing, they are former Vigo/BD people. Now, when we talk about Vigmed as a company, we have chosen what we call a controlled sourcing strategy, which means that we focus on a particular part of the value chain, namely understanding the customers, understanding their needs, and turning that into innovation, doing the innovation, and of course also positioning the products. But we have chosen not to manufacture, so we use manufacturing partners. And we have chosen, as a startup company, it's not realistic also to do the sales ourselves, which means that we go through distributors. Of course, when we look at the sales activities, we are very much involved, and we have actually chosen the last 9 months to get even more involved. What I realized when I took over late last year was that we were basically not in the know about tender processes, and tender processes drives about 85 to 90% of the market for our product categories. So we needed to get a better understanding, and we needed to do that fast. We are present in most of Western Europe, and we are also present in markets outside of Western Europe where the CE mark is accepted as the basis for registration. We are not in the US. That's a totally separate registration, and there's two reasons for us not being there. One is that the products that we have does not fit perfectly the US market. And two, we've chosen to say now we have existing products that works in the existing markets we operate in. We need to focus there, and we need to show that we are success there before we think about the US. So what have we learned so far? I think realistically we were too fast in the market. We put so much focus on speed that we didn't really see some of the potential risk. And when we put the products in the market in 2014, we found out fairly fast that under certain challenge conditions, our safety mechanism didn't work. That was not a good start. As a startup company with the first product in the market, not to have 100% success, not a good start. So what did we do? Well, we immediately set in a task force to change that on the product side, and we went to our distributors and offered them to exchange the products that they have already gotten. We didn't want the products in the market, even though they would work 99.5% of the time. We cannot afford to have a failure rate of 0.5% in the market for these kind of products. As I mentioned earlier, I also found out that we hadn't really been good enough at understanding the tender processes in Europe, and we had definitely been too ambitious or too aggressive in our expectations on how fast we could penetrate the market. So if you think about 85 to 90% of the market is tender-based, and these tenders, it takes about 1 year from the tender start till you have a decision. And once you have a decision, that tender is locked for 2, 3, 4 years. That means that it takes quite a while before you actually get access to the full market. And the projections that we had earlier was too ambitious on that. So what did we do, or what did the board do? Well, first of all, the board dismissed the former CEO, put me in as an interim. The chairman of the board stepped down in May, and we got a new chairman in who has quite a long track record within life sciences, specifically within taking startup companies to a mature role in the market. The former chairman of the board had been very good in actually getting the product to where we were now, but the commercial phase, we needed someone with a lot of experience there to challenge us. And then we also had to be very, very cost conscious. I mean, we had built a company that were catering to a revenue level that we didn't deliver on. So the consequences was that we needed actually to cut back. So what have we seen? We just released last month the Q2 result. We grew 44% versus Q2 of last year. That sounds good, but it's from a low base. So I am actually not satisfied with that. I want bigger growth. I would say that the market attractiveness is still very, very high for these kind of products. There is a legislation that demands that you use safety products. So there's a huge conversion going on, which means that the growth in the market itself is quite high and will be for some years. We also see that the initial quality problems that we have, they are now in the past. We have solved what I call teething problems. We have now a stable manufacturing process, a stable quality in the market. And what will we do? Well, we need to continue to focus on tenders. Tenders is key for us, and we are on a very steep learning curve. And what we can see is that the distributors that we have in each individual country, they only look at the tender processes from that country. We have a picture of Europe, so we can actually see what the distributors, what our competitors do across Europe. And we have now taken a much more forceful role towards the distributors in actually going in and saying, we think you need to bid with this price. And if you want to bid with this price, let's talk about how we do that. If you want to run your own show, the results have not been that impressive, and you better know what you're doing. Okay. About our products. The way that we've gone about developing products is that we always want to deliver best in class or better, you can say. So meeting the golden standard or exceeding the golden standard in the market. At the same time, we are not in this market to try to change the treatment regimes. We don't think that that's realistic for a startup company. So the solutions that we bring to the market has to feel familiar to the healthcare workers. We have no place in the market if we don't deliver on quality. A company like us, we do not have a place if we want to compete with low-cost Chinese or Indian quality products. And last but not least, we need to find that balance between high quality and affordability. We know that all the public healthcare budgets in Europe are under pressure. So it's unrealistic to come out with a better solution and then market at a significantly higher price. So that's the thinking about how we develop products and how we position them in the market. And the portfolio we have, let's say the main category we have is IV catheters, both for premature born children and up to adults, of course. We have three different lines there. We have a neonatal line, which has been extremely well received in the market. We do have some pretty unique sales points on that. And we take actually a pretty good size of that market when we go in and bid with these products. It's a niche category, so of course it's not where the volume is going to come. The volume is actually going to come on the winged and the ported products. Here it's a much more competitive segment of the market. So even though when we see evaluations from the tender processes, we always ranked on top when it comes to quality and clinical efficacy. But unfortunately, in this segment, it's mostly price. And this is when I talked about earlier that we need to be much more forceful with our distributors about setting the price. We can see that there's a big game going on right now on setting the price right. And we want to take charge of that and not leave it to the distributors. The second category we have is the switch category, which is for arterial use. This is again a niche category where we also have very good unique sales points. We're actually the only company that has a safety version specifically for arterial use. And we get also very good feedback on this product. Again, it's a niche product, but together with the neonatal, this creates also an image for Vigmed as a company, that we actually solve issues that weren't solvable before. For neonatals especially, that's a very, very good story for us, but also for the arterial use. The last category we have is swing, which is for injection. Now this is a mass market product, and this is a product where we've had to take a step back and reassess that market, and our reassessment indicates that this is a market that's going to be very, very tough for us to win in a big way. We have the most safe product in the market, but it's also more expensive than the competitors. And unfortunately, we missed the window there, at least partially, to actually establish a preference for this product in the market. So due to the fact that we were actually late in the market, many countries have now accepted to have a manual safety solution, which is cheaper. And we find it fairly difficult actually to get them to use a more automated safety solution, even though it's more safe, because it's more expensive. I'll skip the numbers for now and just re-emphasize our focus is actually the same as been for the last 6 months. We want to focus on existing products in existing markets. And we want to make sure that when we go in for tenders, we bid with the right price. We know we have the right quality to win. We need to find out together with the distributors, how do we set the right price? We've learned a lot over the last 6 months, and we will continue to learn, but we are in a lot better position now to win the tenders, the big tenders. We are winning the small tenders where price is not as, let's say, as important, but we need to win the big tenders to actually change the game on volume. And then, of course, we are focusing on Western Europe. We still don't have an agreement for UK. And we are very, very committed to getting that agreement in place. I don't like to put a date in, but I'll say that it should be extremely soon. That's about it.
Ja. Tack ska du ha, Henrik. Do you want to take the questions in English eller svenska?
Svenska är fint.
Vad bra. Ni säger själv att det är en hårt konkurrensutsatt marknad. Det jag tänker på är kostnader. Hur många är ni anställda på bolaget idag? Varför har ni valt att lägga ut på produktionen på kontraktstillverkare till exempel? Finns det framöver då eventuella planer på att ta den in-house och liksom effektivisera hela
Det var mange frågor. Jeg skal forsøge at svare, men først og fremmest, så da vi började som bolag, der havde vi ikke de finansielle muskler til at kunne investere i udrustning. Altså, vi har udrustning med hos vores partnere for rundt 80-85 millioner, og de penge havde vi ikke. Dem har vores partnere investeret i udrustning. Så det var et must for os, om vi ville snappe på markedet og gøre så. Vi ved, at vi har en ganske kosteffektiv løsning. Om man titter på vores skyt, og I kan se det ude efteråret. Vores skyt er en enkomponents plastikskyt, som tækker nålen. Den største konkurrent i markedet er Becton Dickinson, og deres skyt har 16 komponenter. Så fra et kostperspektiv, så kan vi konkurrere uden tvekan. Det er jeg slet ikke nervøs for. Det burde vi kunne.
Och jag tänkte på det här med alltså er edge så att säga. Det är stora konkurrenter där ute, de har stora finansiella muskler. Vad är er edge så att säga?
Vores edge er klart højeste kvalitet, højeste klinisk performance og samtidig er til en pris som är konkurrensdygtig.
Ja. Och hur ofta ungefär gör ett sjukhus upphandlingar när det kommer till vem kommer förse oss med de här skyddsutrustningen?
Altså man kan sige, at upphandlinger kører generelt fra 2 til 4 år. Så et sted vil tage et beslut, og de vil sige, at mindst 2 år aftaler man at købe produkter.
Ja.
Og det kan gå helt op til 4 år, før de så laver en ny ophandling. Og ophandlingen, den tager faktisk et helt år. Fra at man, eller man kan gå baklæns og så sige, besluttet er her, om man vil vinde, så skal man faktisk børge og jobbe med den tender et helt år før ud.
Ja.
Og derfor, det lytter jo lidt kunstigt, at vi har været i markedet i næsten 2 år. Men det første år har man ingen chance for at vinde en ophandling overhovedet taget. Fordi hele det her spor, det kører redderen, og man kommer simpelthen for sent ind i ophandlingsprocessen. Så der er en lead time, en ganske lang lead time for at komme ind i de her ophandlinger. Og så er det klart, at om du har store spillere, så har du også ganske bra relationer. Og i nogle lande gør man også det, at man laver det, man kalder bundling, hvor man siger, jamen om I køber hele vores portefølje, så får ni en ganske bra pris, men tager ni bort IV-katetre til eksempel, jamen så koster de andre ting mere. Så det bliver, nogle gange kan det være lidt svært for et bolag, som har IV-katetre at komme ind. Men det er derfor, vi forsøger at gå ud med distributører, som har en ganske bred offert inden det her segment. Så even om det ikke er Vigmed-produkter, så har de produkter, de kan gå ind med og konkurrere.
Okay, jeg forstår. Og hvor mange produkter totalt havde ni då? Var det 5?
Ja, vi har 5 produktkategorier, kan man sige. 3 inom IV, 1 inom arter og 1 inom injektion.
Finns det några frågor i publiken? Inga frågor. Ni är på väg in i UK, säger du?
Ja, altså vi er ganske langt i forhandlingerne inom UK. Ja, jeg kan ikke sige nogen præcis datum andet end at det burde være ganske nære.
Hur pass viktig är marknaden för er om man jämför mot resten av?
Altså UK er vurderingsmæssigt det næststørste marked i Europa, så det er ganske vigtigt for os. Næststørste, ja. Tyskland er det største.
Och sen så är ni även aktiva i Australien.
Australien, New Zealand, Emiraterne, de länder som accepterer CE-mærk som basis for en registrering. Og så har vi faktisk også initieret registrering i Kina. Kina er det største land i verden på det her segment. Det er større end USA også, værdemæssigt. Og de kan bruge de produkter, vi har. Det er ikke ligesom i USA, hvor det er en anden type produkt, som de anvender. Så vi tænker, even om vi fokuserer på Europa, så har vi sat gang i processen med at registrere produkterne i Kina.
Okay. Och vad var anledningen egentligen till att ni inte har äntrat USA? För det måste ju ändå vara den största marknaden.
Ja, USA er det næststørste. Kina er det største. Men USA har en anden... de har valgt en anden væg på, hvilke produkter de anvender. Så det største IV-produkt i Europa, det er den kategori, som hedder Ported. Det findes slet ikke i USA. De accepterer ikke det produkt i USA. Så det er 50% af Europa, 0% i USA.
Okay, så den amerikanske marknaden eksisterer ikke, eller?
Ported-segmentet eksisterer ikke i USA. Okay. De har til gengæld et segment, som hedder Straight, som er et lidt anderledes koncept. Og det findes stort set ikke i Europa. Så de produkter, der er udviklet af Vigmed, de passer til det europæiske marked, og ikke helt til det amerikanske marked.
Okay.
Så vi har prototyper faktisk på de amerikanske løsninger, men vi har valgt at sige, at den proces med at registrere, den tager så tilpas lang tid, og vi tykker faktisk, at vores fokus bør ligge på Europa og vise, at vi har succes der, før vi lægger mere tid på at ekspandere markedet med nye innovationsprojekt.
Jag har en fråga. Vad säger personalen som har testat era produkter? Jag har ju varit på sådana här labb där de tar blodprov och sånt. Det finns någon som gör det hela dagen. Då undrar jag, vill de ha era produkter? Är det ett problem som man upplever i sjukvården det här?
Ja,
jag har aldrig hört talas om det problemet. De sticker i mig lite då och då.
Men det er ikke et problem at stikke i dig. Problemet er, om de stikker i dig, så stikker sig selv bagefter. Så er der en risk.
Men vad säger de? Tycker de att era produkter är bra?
Så frågan är alltså, tycker sjukhuspersonal att era produkter är bra?
Det korte svar er ja. De tycker de er bra. Specielt så ligger de, om vi prater de produkter, som er til voksne, så gælder de penetrationsegenskaberne på produktet. Altså der er ikke så mye smerte, når man sætter ind vores produkter. Vi har en mye vass nål. Om vi prater neonatal, som er endnu mere känsligt, så er den både mycket vass, og den har en feature, hvor de får et signal på, om de er inde i venen, mycket snabbere end konkurrentprodukter. Og det er jättepositivt for personalet. Så personalet er egentlig ikke problemet, men upphandlingerne handler ikke nødvendigvis om kvalitet, det handler også om pris, og primært pris, tyvärr.
Fråga?
Ursäkta? Det gør de også. Ja.
Frågan är alltså varför har ni inte kommit in i England?
Vi har en stærk præference for, hvilken distributør vi gerne vil have. Og det har været en ganske lang forhandling med dem. Den er i princip så nær afsluttet, som den kan være. Uden at jeg vil sige mere end det. Så, men UK kan potentielt blive et problem på længere sigt, om de går helt ud af EU. Jeg skulle gisse, at de fortfarande vil acceptere CE-mærkning som registreringsbas, men man kan ikke vide det.
Hur mycket har ni i kassan nu ungefär?
På slutet af Q2 havde vi 44 millioner i kassen.
Okay. Och hur länge uppskattar du att den räcker? Kommer ni vara kassa?
Det er ikke rigtig information, vi går ud med, men man kan sige, at jeg vil sige, at om man tittar på burn rate, så even om vi ikke sælger noget som helst, så er vi på den anden side næste sommer.
Ja, men då får vi tacka. Det är så hemskt mycket.
Tak selv.